people, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Wellth Wednesday. My name is Joanne and I am so happy to have you here today. And I know last week I talked about oils, healthy hair, healthy skin. Can we just, I don't know, can you see the shine on my hair? Thank you, rosemary oil. I've been a week in now to my new hair routine. So I'm using lemongrass in the first shampoo, I'm using cedarwood in the second shampoo, and I'm using rosemary in my conditioner, and then I have my little spray that I shared with you last week that I'm spraying into my hair when it's still wet, towel dry. I did straighten it today. However, I know you can't feel it, but it feels, I'm back in love with my hair. The reason I go short is because I always think it's thin, it's in bad condition, but I'm excited for my growth journey, so we're just going to monitor. This is month 1. This is January. I guess just put above my shoulders. Anyway, what I want to talk about today for Wellth Wednesday is I'm going to go back to basics, because my older videos, obviously from way back when I wasn't consistent, when I wasn't showing up every week for you guys, going back to hormones, and I still get surprised every time I speak to a woman who doesn't fully follow her hormone cycle. And I love explaining it. I love their faces when they're like, oh my God. And that's what I'm going to do today in this video. Just a whistle-stop tour of our 4 seasons, our inner 4 seasons, and why it's so important that we honour them. First of all, we live in a man's world. The way that a man's body works, their hormone levels, their hormone system is 24 hours. It's circadian. It repeats and repeats and repeats every single day. So think about the 9 to 5. So we start work in the morning, obviously 9. This is just, basic. I know not everyone works 9 to 5. I don't. But as an example, the old-fashioned 9 to 5. Then we wake up. In the morning, men's cortisol levels, their testosterone levels are higher. So that's why we would start work at that time. And then throughout the day, they're whittling off. So after about 8 hours or so, they need to rest. Hello, working day. A woman's cycle is a lot different. We have an infradian cycle, the same as the moon. It's a 28-day cycle. I'm just going to use 28 days because it's the average. A normal cycle, it's not the average, it's the standard. A normal cycle can be anywhere between 26 to 30. Yeah, so 2 or 3 days either side. Anything less, you probably need to go and speak to your GP, or anything more, it may be. Depends on if that's every month, but I can go into that on another Wellth Wednesday. So we have our cycle. And just splitting it into the 28 days, which is 4 weeks. So we then have 4 sections to this, which is why we can find it so difficult just to live in a modern world, because we're not a 24-hour circadian rhythm cycle like men. So again, just breaking it down very, very roughly. For 7 days, so let's say day 1, what day 1 to 7? So day 1 is the first day of our bleed. So for this week, we're in our winter, we're bleeding. Our hormone levels are very low. I'm not going to go into all the names, but they're low. We feel low, we feel tired, progesterone, estrogen is low, and we're in that slump. You know what it feels like. It is winter. We want to hibernate, we want to get all cozy, and we need to look after our bodies. We then move from winter into spring. So everything starts, budding again, hormone levels start creeping back up. We start to feel a little bit more normal. We have that again, roughly about 7 days. We then step into our summer, our ovulation, where all systems go. We're ovulating, our hormone levels are nice and balanced. Our body's like, woo, woo. Our body's ready to have a baby. So our progesterone levels, pro-gestation, pro-pregnancy, are high. At this time we feel happy, we've got loads of energy, and then we start to drop off again. We come into autumn. So the leaves start falling off the trees and everything starts to wilt. That was very quick, but just by knowing your winter, spring, summer, autumn, you can start to think, oh yeah. So week to week we change. And if within those weeks we have our crossover day, so if once we stop our ovulation and we come into our autumn and we have that day where, oh my God, yesterday I was so full of energy, I felt amazing. Today I feel like this. And that's because of this infradian system. So as women, we really need to honour and work and learn our systems. So for me, my winter isn't as bad as my autumn. So in winter, I'm actually in winter now, I'm day 3. So I have a little bit more energy. But I'm not going to go and do like a heavy cardio workout or go for a run. I don't run anyway, but you know, that kind of thing. And I make sure that I eat a little bit more protein because obviously I'm bleeding. When I come into spring, I'm very creative and I do have that little bit more energy. So I'll naturally want to go to the gym and do extra workouts, you know, I'll have that energy to do that. Other than now, I feel like, you know, I'm not wanting to hibernate, but I don't have as much energy, and I honour that. So I'm listening, like, right, what shall I do today? Maybe I'm just going to go for a walk instead of going to the gym. Coming into my spring, I'll probably go to the gym and do a few weights, you know, just saying, right, okay, what do I want from myself today? Summer, high energy, full of energy, I'll sit and get loads of work done, go to the gym, maybe double class or do extra yoga, you know, honouring that. My autumn, I start to drop off a little bit more, and this is when I get a little bit more tired. And some of our PMS symptoms are normal. And I see a lot of health influencers that are like, this shouldn't happen. We're obviously going to have some symptoms because there's so much changing. It's never going to be symptomless. What we do need to make sure is that our symptoms are not getting in the way. So I know that I'm going to be tired. So last week, I knew it was coming, you know, minor cramps, needed an afternoon where I just cleared the afternoon and, you know, had a little snooze. My partner knows, so I tell him what's coming and he sort of honours that with me as well. And then coming into my winter, I'm fine. So learning about your cycle, learning about your own system. Yours might be different. I know some people have a really terrible winter and their autumn doesn't affect them. We're all different. There's no set way of how we should feel. But there is there is suggested ways of how we can look after ourselves. And again, that might be different for you. You might be full of energy in your winter and that's your best time to work out. But then you know in ovulation you're really tired, because ovulation can make you tired as well. There's a lot going on inside. The more we honour these, the more we connect, the more we're in touch with that feminine side, our cycle, the better we will feel. The more we will be able to deal with life. The better our mental health. The better equipped we are when things happen. Because if you are having one of those days and you don't feel like, or you're just like, oh, and you can quickly check your tracker. Okay, I have 8 days until my bleed, so that's why I feel like this. So you know what, I'm going to take a step back instead of just powering through. And I know it's difficult because in this modern world, it's not built for a woman's cycle. You know, we can't say to our boss, oh yeah, I have 8 days and around this time I have cramps, or around this time I'm really tired, so I need a rest, I need to work from home. But what we can do is learn how to look after ourselves. And, you know, all of this comes simply by tracking and learning about your cycle. So your homework, your soul work for today is to go away and learn about your own cycle, not learn about those, learn about your own cycle. Start from day 1 of your period, that is your winter, and then roughly split it up until you know how many days your bleed is, and then, you know, we can go into the science in another video, but for now, just your winter is your bleed. Your spring is you're coming out of that, everything is blooming again. Your summer is your ovulation. the autumn is just before everything's dropping off again. So I've kept it really simple for the video. Just think of the trees, blooming, the leaves falling off. Don't need to know the ins and outs of the hormones and all the hormone names. I'll do that in another video. If you have any questions, let me know. If this is all brand new to you, of course, just reach out to me. I would love to help you, guide you, send you some information. I do have on my website a nice blog which goes into all this. I will actually put that in the show notes so that you can go away and just have a little read, and the science bit is in there as well. So thank you very much for joining me this week. I shall be back next Wednesday with a new Wellth Wednesday. And yeah, if you have any requests, anything you're not sure of, let me know. And I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me.